Hey and welcome back. My name is Michael Wu, and today we're going to talk about everything you need to know about schools, from choosing which to apply to, whether or not you should apply early, individual school requirements like what essays to write, and scheduling out those requirements for each school. You should first clarify your values and why you're applying to college. What are you looking for in an education? What type of college experience do you want? And with those values in mind, then begin choosing from the large number of schools that are out there. There are so many options that you may not have even considered that are great schools, like technical schools, for example, Georgia Tech and Cal Poly SLO, or liberal arts colleges like Williams and Pomona. Regardless of whether or not you've heard of them before, you should look into them and see if they're the right fit for you. You're also going to have to decide whether or not you'd rather go to a public or private school, if you'd rather live in a big city or small town, how much you care about sports, arts, and the overall culture. These may seem like small things that don't really matter, but at the end of the day, they really add up to create a college experience for 4 years. Another important thing is when you're actually attending a school, you won't care about its prestige if you're absolutely miserable. So don't just apply to an Ivy League because of the aura of prestige around it. You want to make sure that every school you apply to, from your dream reach school to your last safety, you'd be genuinely happy spending 4 of the most important years of your life there. And the way you determine that is by research. Go to a college tour, get inspired, watch day-in-the-life videos on YouTube, research the curriculum online. There's so many different ways to research schools. We'd recommend that you jot down all the things that you would look forward to going to that specific school as you do your searching. Simply put, the more research you put into a school, the likelier you are to get in. Once you have a few schools in mind, you need to start narrowing down your list. Be rigorous in your assessment of which schools to apply to. Beyond the expense, your time is valuable and you don't want to waste it writing essays for schools you don't actually care about. If that's the case, they probably won't care about your application either. Our recommendation is that you apply to 12 schools, with UCs counting as one. Out of those 12, we recommend you apply to 4 reach, 4 target, and 4 safety schools. With that being said, everyone has different needs and timelines. I know people that applied to just 3 schools and did great. Surya applied to 41 schools and is going to UC Berkeley. At the end of the day, we recommend 12 simply because it gives you enough choice and variabilities in the schools you apply to, and at the same time, it's a manageable workload, unlike 41. One word on safeties: make sure that you're applying to realistic safeties so that you have backup schools that you would be happy going to. There should be a 90+% chance that you'll get into these schools because humans tend to be opportunistic creatures, so we overestimate a lot. Be careful about that. Also be careful about using UCs as safety schools because they are really unpredictable in their admissions, especially in recent years, so try to get at least 1 to 2 non-UC schools for your safety list. Once you've got a working list, now you're going to want to decide whether or not you'd like to apply early to any of those schools. If you do apply early, you're going to have to accelerate your timeline, and getting rejected or deferred from your dream school really sucks, but there are definitely a few advantages that are important to consider. One, if you do get into your dream school, you're basically done with applications. Your winter break is going to be really fun. You're going to be able to help your friends out with their applications, and you're going to be able to enjoy your family during holiday time. 2, some schools give you better odds of getting in if you apply early because it shows commitment. That's big too, so look into the specific school to see if applying early would increase your chances. 3, if you do get deferred or rejected, it should serve as motivation and a gauge for the rest of your application, and you can adjust your essays from there. Note the differences in various early applications. Early decision is binding, whereas early action is not. Some schools restrict where else you can apply to, so just make sure you figure that out for each one of the schools that you're applying early to. In deciding where to early, there's only one real factor to consider. I oftentimes get questions from underclassmen like, oh hey, should I be worried about who else is applying from my school to the early? And I would say definitely not. Colleges look at who else is applying from your school and local community, yes, but I wouldn't worry about that at all, and instead, early where you think is right for you. Focus on your story and separating yourself as an individual and as an applicant. Don't worry about other people. At the end of the day, apply to schools that you want to go to and be both relentlessly optimistic and realistic in the schools that you apply to. You know yourself the best. Once you've decided your list and categorize your schools into reaches, targets, and safeties, rank your schools within each category. So for example, if Brown is your number 1 dream school that you've always wanted to go to, that should be your number 1 reach. And if you really want to go to UCI and you think you have a pretty good shot of getting in, that should probably be your number 1 target. Then input those into our list generator. One small but important note, make sure you use the school's full name when you input it into our list generator, into those text boxes. Don't use abbreviations for any schools other than UC's. There are some examples underneath the description, so just check those out for what's acceptable or not. For example, you would input a school as Columbia University, not as Columbia. Alright, so once you input that, click the submit button, and we've given you a lot of cool features that will help you stay on track of deadlines and essays. I remember going through the application process, I would create Excel spreadsheets and have to manually input everything ourselves. Our software automatically displays all of the required essays, optional supplements, and deadlines for each school in the drop-down menus. So every time you finish one of those requirements or essays, go to that list and check off that box. This will automatically update your progress bar for each school, and once you save, you'll be able to visually see how much work you've done and how much work you still have left every time you come back to the page. This is going to be enormously beneficial for you. These deadlines are really, really important, so you need to stay on top of them. I really encourage you to reference this page at least once a week so that you are totally updated with the work you still have to do. Ultimately, you alone determine how useful this website is based on how much you utilize the tools given to you. To help you further plan out the next few months, we've created an auto-generated calendar based on your colleges to help you stay on track of your deadlines. We'll go over that in the next video. Good luck with creating your list. Thank you so much for watching that video. We really appreciate the support. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and head over to our company website at etruscan.xyz. There you can make an account and take full advantage of all the free services that we're offering. Thank you for choosing Etruscan.